100 years ago, Titanic was the ultimate passenger ship. And it was this tender ship, the Nomadic, now being restored in Belfast, that actually ferried many of the passengers from the dockside in Cherbourg, France, to the superliner. Today, RMS Titanic is no longer the ultimate passenger ship. Instead, the wreck has become the ultimate dive. In the summer of 2000, I was actually selected to take part in an expedition that was going back to Titanic to recover artifacts in the seabed. What was going to be very personal for me was that I was going to come from the country where Titanic was actually built, and to be the first Irish diver to visit it was going to be quite an achievement for me. The Titanic is the world's biggest scientific research vessel, and it's the mothership to the two Russian submersibles that we were going to leave from. The size of them is 18 tons, but the capsule that you're in is only less than 6 feet, not much more than this width. And three of you get inside this and you're crammed in for up to 12 hours. There's no heating, and you can feel the cold very, very quickly once you start descending to the water. And there's no toilet facilities on board. It takes 2.5 hours just to fall through the water column, and you have no sensation of falling whatsoever, because after 10 or 15 minutes it's completely black outside. The submarine starts to slow down. The captain of the sub starts counting out 30 meters to the bottom. You're looking out, and then you can see the bottom of the Atlantic comes up, and it's just mud. You think there's not much to see here, but as you lift off slowly across the bottom, you see a starfish. And it's incredible to think that there's a starfish 4,000 meters deep, the same sort of starfish you can see off the beach off here. As we move up across the bottom, there's a sonar inside the submarine. We can see the bow of the Titanic just there at us. And this was the first time I went, and as we got nearer and nearer, we bumped into this mud bank where the bow of the Titanic is ploughed into. And as we slowly lifted up, we see this great wall of steel. And there you are, you're looking at the Titanic. And the submarine pulls away, you're looking down on top of where the anchors are, and you see the bow and you see the rails, and you're there. You're one of only maybe a few hundred people in the world that have been to see the Titanic just only feet away from you. All that's left from the bridge, because the wheelhouse area was all just made of wood, all that's left is this telemotor that held the ship's wheel. We left a plaque from Titanic's last port of call there, thought for a few moments and said a few prayers, and we moved off and went to explore the rest of the ship. To go visit the Titanic once, you'd think would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but I had an opportunity 5 years later when I was invited to take part in a second expedition to Titanic, and this time I was going to go back to do a documentary about bringing two memorial plaques from Belfast, Titanic City of Birth. The robotic arm carefully lifted out both plaques. Anatoly, the pilot, left them side by side. Well, after we left the plaques, we then moved off and went along the officer's deck, and all along there the walls have fallen out, and you can actually see Captain Smith's cabin. All around the wreck I could see more and more decay. I could see the upper deck structures were weakening and falling down. The main mast, which had been collapsed before but it was still intact when I saw it, was now crumpling. And going along, then dropped down the side, we could see the portholes, the big glass windows of the glass staterooms. And then we went around and we could see the propellers sticking out through the back part of the ship. We don't go there anymore because the whole section of that ship is just too dangerous. Eventually you have to leave. And as the sub pulls away, you're looking through and you don't want to go because you know it's something special that you've seen. The ship just disappears into the darkness, and you just lie back and you think about what you've just seen and what you've experienced, and it's just something that will always be in my mind and hopefully in the minds of people that I tell the story to.